And as far as the next topic is concerned, because we only have about half an hour before Joseph has to leave, the other thing that involves people going back and forth, has to do with Halo.
You did a pretty decent job with that segue. So let's continue going with you, Charles. Tell us, Airsoft.
It's Nerf, jackass.
Oh, I was so close, chat. Go ahead, Charles. Tell us about Halo.
What they call the next season, which is finally coming out with season 2, is Lone Wolves, Lone Wolf Life, baby. But I guess it's gonna be something to do with characters who are lone wolves, like Noble Six or something. Most of the time, Master Chief when he's not surrounded by Marines or other characters or something like that. And also, they're probably gonna have a new mode in the multiplayer. I probably have to deal with that. Just a knockout, which would be like playing Rumble or whatever the hell it's called, Halo or Slayer, something like that. All I know is that I'm just hoping that whatever the hell they have coming in this next season will be better, because I've been miss playing that game and everything, but Jordan's been too busy playing Dead by Day to play Halo anymore.
Cause I stream. I literally stream for a living. I gotta play a consistent game. It makes sense to play a game that's not grinding for views. And as it goes for now, unfortunately, Halo's not doing great on the plays charts. This is right now going in history as one of the worst Halos made at this moment in time. And they are doing everything they can to pull the numbers back up. They're about at the same line as the new Destiny game. And no one's making videos on the new Destiny game. That is where people are getting concerned. Like,
I mean, people still are. It's not most of the ones I follow that make Destiny related videos still are.
Well, like
getting pretty decent numbers, as far as I can tell.
But they're getting numbers, but the players aren't there. Like, that's what numbers I'm talking about. The players aren't there. Versus day one of launch, a week in the launch, a month of launch. They have literally, I don't know what you're laughing about, but their numbers just been
some
going
people
down.
are looking at Destiny and thinking, screw that, I have free will.
No free will.
Yeah. I know from experience people are still playing Destiny, but just being a bit of but things will be coming, because there's an event coming up, I think.
For Destiny or Halo?
I know in Destiny.
Okay.
And I know in the future season they're bringing back another Destiny 1 raid, and every one of their mothers is going to be all over that.
But you see the problem there. Destiny's making things to come back for to make people play it, but Halo's not. Like,
it's thief for thief and can't get their heads out their asses and be more communicative with the player base, and be more consistent with the content, and actually deal with some of the issues people have been complaining about, and actually make the game it's actually fun to play.
Well, they made it.
Halo 5 is better than this game at this point. I hate Halo 5.
The campaign, everything I see, yes. The multiplayer, that's a solid no. Halo 5's multiplayer is tanked on their numbers. Like, it was bad. But the campaign, though, is not entertaining. Like, no one is saying play Halo for this campaign. And it's a big issue, since Halo's campaign is the biggest reason. And leaks have shown, not official leaks have shown that the multiplayer for Halo is done. It's already ready to go. Are they tweaking it? Are they holding it out because they have something big planned with Season 2? Or are they hoping that they are going to wait for a big event like a possible Microsoft E3 version of it? Boom, release everything there to drive up numbers, to drive up sales. They're listening, according to an article by IGN, links will be in the description. They sat there and are listening to the community of the complaints of trying to make the game better, constructive criticism. They're actually open and listening to those three main complaints. That I feel like all this is constructive criticism. So the fact that it's three separate complaints are odd. But, the fact that they're actually listening, we might see a change to Halo, and we might actually see that it might be more entertaining. And I say might because the game's not doing so great now.
Hopefully they're freaking listening. They've been radio silent long enough. Freaking haven't freaking been doing anything as far as I've heard freaking from all the Halo channels. I freaking subscribe to on freaking YouTube.
They've been mute, and that's why when they started talking about season 2, it was a shock to everyone. Like, why start up with a season 2 for a game that is going downhill? Why not release the multiplayer campaign that people are waiting for? People are waiting for this multiplayer campaign. Release the campaign, people will play. Like, it's that. But once again, it might not be done yet. It might not be fully done yet. These are not official leaks that I've read. Or, I didn't read, I watched it. They're not official leaks, but everything I'm seeing from these leak channels is all the exact same thing. Is like they have several people in the campaign. They literally show you other players as Master Chief in the campaign on a screen. And I'm like, you've got other people there. There's our usernames there. Why don't we have this? Like, I just want it out. I just want the game that was supposed to be released a while ago. I want the full game. I would have just, I would rather have waited.
This is why freaking people, including me, have been saying that if they needed freaking more time, they should have just freaking held it back a while longer. Freaking, but no, they had to freaking push it out freaking because of the deadline that they have. And freaking, we got a whole fucking other freaking Halo 5 goddamn situation that didn't need to happen again.
Yep, but unfortunately, we're a small percentage of people that understand why games need to take longer. We're a small percentage of the people. We're the people saying, take your time, but our comments get put down so low because you have the 72% of other people saying, give us the game, we just want the game. And then they get the game, they're going, I don't want this. You broke it. It's like, no.
This is supposed to be a game that's supposed to hold us over for freaking who knows how long?
This isn't done. It's still kind of runny.
Seriously, they said this game is supposed to be like freaking what they freaking support for like the next couple of years.
Yep.
This game's not gonna have anybody playing the motherfucker by the time the next one is finally revealed.
See, and that's why I think this was a tactic that failed. I think what they were planning to do is slowly release stuff for it to keep people going along, but when the Master Chief's collection has about the same amount of people playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer, that's when you have issues. Like, that's when you have legit issues when the Master Chief Collection's multiplayer is still getting played, and you have the new Halo that launch is getting about the same amount of people playing on a weekly basis.
If not more.
Yeah. It's like, you shouldn't have those numbers. It should be a clear stake.
At least with Master Chief Collection, you have at least like freaking half a dozen games you can play the campaigns through. And a freaking shit ton of multiplayer modes you can play through.
But these stats I'm talking about are only on the multiplayer. That is what is crazy. Like, this is only for the multiplayer stats. I can't find anything on the campaign stats. These are only the multiplayer stats that are being talked about. And the numbers are just stupid. Like, that's why I always say a game should take their time, or a game developer should take time to make it. But unfortunately, once again, we're a small percentage of people. We don't get the final say. Our concerns go down to the bottom because of being rushed with people saying, we want the game, we want the game. They have YouTubers and other large creators saying, we want this game now. It's been waiting too long.
From the top as well. You have the investors.
You have the investors who put into the game.
How deflating must that be to like make a Halo announcement at E3? Oh, here's our announcement. We're releasing a level.
Yeah, it's not a great announcement. But what would be a great announcement is them saying, we fixed the game.
ODST was basically just a campaign DLC with Firefight Halo 3 that basically releases a whole new game for $60.
But that was still good, though. That was still, ODST was good. I mean, yeah, everyone's gonna bitch about it. Everyone's gonna bitch about Ghost, but Ghost's campaign was actually really good. Multiplayer sucks, but the game was pretty good. But everyone's gonna bitch.
Basically just got Halo 3's multiplayer repackaged with it, with all the DLC maps and everything. That's mostly why people complained. This is basically something that should have been freaking just released as DLC instead of being repackaged as a whole game with the multiplayer from Halo 3 attached to it.
I want to ask you guys a question. It's kind of like, you don't have to answer it this episode, but I want you to think about that. I want you guys to think about, what was the moment in your experience where you started to think there was going to be a downturn in gaming? For me, it was with StarCraft 2. Once I saw that StarCraft 2 was going to be released in 3 iterations, one for each of the campaign, that's when I started to think, oh no, they're going to try to get more value out of the consumer than give value to the consumer. So that was the moment for me where I started to think something was up. But if you guys have an answer now, feel free. Otherwise,
2012.
2012. I want to hear this. Go ahead.
Freaking when they start, I don't know when the whole Games as a Live service thing started, but that's also freaking when I started hearing about that bullshit. Again, when that started to happen, I was like, yep, freaking, I'm gonna start seeing freaking some of my favorite games go right down the shithole. Freaking 2012 was like one of the last few years I can remember. Like, I actually was excited for a bunch of games because Halo 4 came out that year, Black Ops 2 and Borderlands 2 all came out in that same year, and I freaking played Borderlands 2 the night it launched after driving through like fucking monsoon to get the damn thing from my GameStop. And I freaking mostly met Jordan through freaking Halo, but I also played a lot of Black Ops 2 back in the day with him too. And that's how I met Tab and Jess and Dante and Justin. You know, all the original group of friends that we used to play with.
I'm kind of amused at the idea of you like driving through the monsoon, like the windows down, you're just shouting at the rain. Are you the fucking rain? Get out of here! Get off my
Just
ass.
get out of here!
I did have to look at my window freaking because I couldn't see because my windshield wipers were shit. But freaking, that's a whole nother story in itself. Freaking, and Halo 4, I played the campaign of that. And I also played the multiplayer a lot. Freaking, I was introduced to Chief Keef by a college roommate, listening to one of his songs. Freaking, I was freaking owning people with a shotgun in Halo 4. Freaking, like I said, freaking 2012 was like one of the last years I can remember that freaking had a bunch of games that were fully freaking out at release, and then had DLCs came out for them, and the games are freaking fun to fucking play. Even though Halo 4 was bullshit, but that's another story.
So, Zone and Joseph, was the question is like, when did you notice like the games were starting to go on that long journey? Okay.
Something was about to go wrong in the games industry.
Okay, so I know this is really recent, but this kind of lines up because once again, I didn't care for the longest time. I just wanted to play the game. But when it caught me at the point, it was Cold War. And this was why. For being an alpha test, being in beta test, and then playing the game. Mm-hmm. I could say this. Launching a game with 4 maps. That's a beta thing. That's a beta thing. Launching the campaign or launching it with 4 maps. And then had one zombie mode? That's a beta move, and they did that, and that's when I went, this game's going to take forever. It's going to be so long before anything else happens, and that's what happened. They kept having to add in stuff because people were like, I'm done playing. And they're like, here's another map. You like that? You like that? Hang on, give us 3 more months. Here's another map. Oh, you want more money to spend? Here's a $20 cosmetic that means nothing. Here. Do this. It's not even like an NFT. You can't even get value back out of it. Like, it's literally, they're just going, hey, you want to blow some money? Here you go. Like, a Cold War was probably when I noticed that games were going to be taking that long, drawn out time period.
And also because it had that freaking stupid battle pass shit from Fortnite, freaking where people could spend at least $100-something on the whole 100 tiers of battle pass and have freaking guns that you could get from the battle pass. Otherwise, and also what Jordan freaking,
it was just skins.
They also had guns you had to play challenges for.
Well, in Fortnite, it was only skins. The battle pass was only cosmetic. Just so you know, like, because the premise of the game is you enter the island without a weapon at all, so you would find your weapons while you're on the ground.
That's the thing I also hate about Cold War is freaking they had freaking people spending money on these freaking on these like skins and shit for characters and the guns, and sometimes freaking even for the guns. It's literally those times where you could have to freaking buy a character pack, whatever they would call, freaking that had a gun in it. That one sniper that was basically Barrett 50 that sucked ass, freaking, or you can complete a challenge for it, which also sucked ass.
The thing is, like, when you're talking about the Cold War and when they added the battle pass, like, that wasn't nearly as bad as, once again, we kind of go back to the whole loot crates idea, with Halo Infinite, Black Ops. Like, that was a bad time, because then you truly had it to where you paid real money to open up a crate that gave you a chance to get a better gun that was 1% better than the other one. And now you have people running around the map with either something that's so overpowered, something that can't even get a kill because the other gun takes you out faster, something so broken. Like, that was like a dark, like, that idea of adding in content. Like, I personally, I like this idea. Give us character skins, because people were willing to pay that. I paid for it. Give us character skins. Give us gun camos. Give us emotes. Don't fuck with the game itself. I love the idea what they did with the battle pass for Cold War. They gave us a gun, but you didn't have to unlock it through the battle pass. You could cheat your way through it, or you could do an actual challenge to get the gun. And the guns they gave us were never OP, to say the least.
Advanced Warfare is the game that started the whole freaking loot crate bullshit with Call of Duty. Freaking people were getting like the overpowered version of the barrel that was freaking busted as hell.
Yep, dude, that game pissed me off. Once I hit a nuke, I was out.
And then World War II freaking happened with that freaking shitty ass freaking loot crate system that they had. And Black Ops 3 and 4.
I'm trying to remember 3. Black Ops 3. Let me look
Black Ops
at
3
it.
had so many freaking guns locked behind the loot crates that you had to be lucky to get. Freaking, there's still a bunch I still haven't gotten out there. And some of those guns I haven't gotten yet. Freaking some of my favorite ones, like the US MC from Black Ops 2. That was the first gun I ever got gold in Black Ops 2, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I forgot about there's so many, like, Call of Duties with, like, different layouts and stuff like that. But, yeah, Black Ops 3 was when they got a little better with the idea behind it. Keyword, a little better?
A lot of money on to get freaking crypto keys, so you can end up spending on card points, so you can get freaking... Hopefully lucky to get freaking something like the AK-74U or the PPSH or the USMC.
But at least they gave you in-game credits. They did a system where you played the game and you get credits for it. And that's actually what Halo's doing, to wrap it back in the Halo topic. According to this, Season 2 is going to launch off also a new feature where you play the game and you can actually earn credits throughout the game, so you can do things like buy the pass and things like that. That's only the article kind of said, is it could be rumored to do that, where they're actually giving you a currency way to purchase stuff.
Like Reach?
I'm thinking so. I think that's how it's going to work, because they're actually talking about like giving you a currency in a sense, like to where you can actually use that on in-game content. So I think it's gonna be like Reach, how you could buy like the different headpieces and armor plates and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it might end up looping back in.
And also like the firefight voices. I still have yet to get freaking Cortana, Master Chief, and that. And Noah Johnson.
Well, maybe.
I'm still mad I freaking missed in the Master Chief collection in the one season where they had Sergeant Johnson's firefight voice freaking for ODST on the thing. I'm fucking pissed I missed that, because that was a pre-order thing. You can't get it now.
Yeah, I just...
ODST.
Halo was a great time, but you know what was also a great time was this podcast. Joseph, though, do you have any... because we kind of kicked you out of the Halo topic. Do you have any final words on your opinions on the Halo?
No. I mean, I was just observing what you guys were saying, just hearing about like different times we identify things that are going on in the industry. So no, I'm good.